Yo, what is up, guys? It's a beautiful day in crypto land. Crypto markets have just flipped. It's pretty crazy out there. We get so much back and forth, positive news, negative news, positive news, negative news. It's fucking crazy. We're going to talk about what's going on with the latest, the macro news, the tariff news, all that kind of stuff. Bitcoin charts, altcoin charts, your questions, second half of the stream. Let's get it. Wild day in the markets. Wild day in the markets. Let's go straight into it. So, to-do list. Stare at charts endlessly, scroll X endlessly, overthink endlessly, stare at charts endlessly. Fantastic. Feels like the way things go some days. He's probably thinking of another girl. Will trading even work? Time's running out. Parents are getting old. What am I doing with my life? Should I stop this? I need to stop wasting time. Everybody in the market right now. U.S. futures for the S&P 500 up currently 1.3%. There's been some up and down news over the weekend, but generally I think we're heading in the right direction. The market's starting to realize that we're going to start getting deals soon. Things are going to start moving positively for us. So that's, I guess, the market letting us know that. We'll see how actual trading goes on today. And of course, we'll see what the heck Donald tweets out today. We're going to talk about Mantra in a few minutes. A lot of stuff to talk about here with the coins in general. That was a wild thing for today. We'll talk about that soon. Bank of America says short the S&P 500. You also have JP Morgan out there saying all these problems and stuff. And so the big banks telling everybody to buy at the top and telling everybody to sell at the bottom. Don't trust them. Don't trust the bankers. Watcher Guru reporting 130 countries now negotiating new trade deals with the USA. We're going to start getting a lot of good news soon. And we've had a lot of bad news on the way down. Markets are starting to front run the narrative that we could have good news soon. And as we start seeing trade deals getting finalized and rolling in, well, you know, good things can happen. Let's put it that way. Endless Capital says in 2 months, we're going to get a tax package that abolishes income tax for everyone making $150,000. So beyond bullish and way more important than inflation from China tariffs. Amen to that. That is game-changing stuff, guys. Game-changing stuff that happens. So let's see how it plays out. Absolutely no one is long, and Trump is softening his tone on tariffs. Market offside, sidelined, as always. Classic stuff. Trump and Xi. Okay, so U.S. President Trump exempts smartphones, computers, and chips from new tariffs, including those imported from China. Markets love this at the weekend, started pumping. Be a shame if somebody came along and tweeted something that derailed. Oh, shit. Donald tweeted out later, nobody's getting off the hook for the unfair trade balances, blah, 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 blah. A lot of stuff in there. But said the main takeaway here, there was no tariff exception announced on Friday. These products are subject to the existing 20% fentanyl tariffs. They're just moving to a different tariff bucket. Okay. Semiconductors, the whole electronic supply chain, and upcoming national security tariff investigations. What has been exposed that we need to make products in the United States will not be held hostage by other countries. Blah, 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 blah. More negotiations going on. China and the USA is going to be the big one. Most of the countries are going to make some kind of deal. Okay. So they keep Donald's phone away from him for a couple of days. So we can have a nice little pump of the markets here. Be fantastic. DeFi Mogi saying fairly obvious that Trump isn't serious about tariffs anymore. If macro conditions get better, we could see another 2020, 2021-esque style bull market again. There's so many things working in our favor. So many things. Here goes bullish Lark again. Look. Rate cuts are coming. Global M2 is pumping. The dollar index is falling. JP Morgan came out the other day. In fact, late Friday, we started getting some indications from the Federal Reserve basically saying that we can inject liquidity into the system if needed. There's liquidity there. If we start running liquidity issues, et cetera, AKA, they're going to be the buyer last resort as always. JP Morgan was out here calling for SLR exemptions, which we got a whole video coming on that tonight, so I'll leave that for all the details there. But basically allowing for banks to be able to buy even more bonds. So there's a lot of interesting things going on there in the background that are very liquidity positive. I am a liquidity positive person, okay? My pronouns are liquidity and bullish pumping, okay? Look, there's a lot of positive things here for liquidity. Liquidity is the rising tide that lifts all markets, okay? Global M2 being a very important indicator right now, that's going up. And as we start seeing more and more tariff resolution, I mean, 130 countries, I know we're not going to have like a super mega bull pump when the United States announces that they've reached a free trade deal with, I don't know, Bhutan, right? But when we have the India deal announced, the UK deal, the EU deal, the Canada deal, the Mexico deal, these are all going to be really good events for the market. Yeah, China's probably going to take the longest time to work out. Okay. Fentanyl coin. Good, guys. Somebody really make a... Oh, you degenerate gamblers. Come on. Fentanyl coin should be a crime. That's insane. Fentanyl's horrific, man. Look, I grew up in a very small town in Western Pennsylvania. And it's one of those towns where like literally nothing ever happens and everyone's just doing drugs all the time, getting drunk all the time. And it's amazing. When I was a kid, okay, seeing like heroin and stuff, or fentanyl. I mean, fentanyl's a new thing, right? I've even seen heroin in those communities was like just a didn't happen. Now it's everywhere, right? And my stepmom, she's retired now, but she worked in social services, and same thing. She said that it's all just heroin now in these small towns. People getting heroin, and the heroin spiked with fentanyl, and people are dying. Shout out to Newcastle. What's up? Yeah, and sorry for your loss, man. It sucks. It's just always brutal. I had a few friends back in high school, just depression and drugs and alcohol and stuff like that, take their own lives, and actually intentionally, not just ODing on drugs. And I had another buddy who, I went back to the States a few years ago, ran into one of my old buddies. And he said, oh, yeah, I remember that dude. Like, yeah, he OD'd, man. Like, man, probably. He didn't say it was fentanyl, but it was probably fentanyl, unfortunately. So it's absolutely evil shit, man. It's absolutely evil shit. So, yeah, people profiting off of, this meme coin degeneracy has reached. When that dude unalived himself on a live stream and then said, make a meme coin if I die, just like the low of the crime season of meme coins. I like meme coins. You guys know I like meme coins. I like me some dog of hat. Okay. I like me some Fartcoin. Like, let's just keep things sane here. Okay. Anyway, continuing, guys. I got a lot to cover here. But yes, we have a lot of bullish catalysts coming to the market. Okay. Look, guys, by the way, if you're trading these markets, there's a great place to trade. That place is called Bitunix. Go check it out. Link down below in the description. You can long, you can short. Markets getting rejected, boom, short that. Markets pumping, got a breakout, boom, long it. You need a good place to do it. Bitunix. $10 to sign up. That's your free trade on the account, basically. First free trade on the house. $400 in deposit bonuses. You deposit $2,000, get $400 back, and $500 in trading bonuses. All the top coins, very deep liquidity. Quick to list hot new altcoins. Link down below if you want to check that out and get on the Bitunix train. So, Senate Banking Chair Tim Scott says major Bitcoin and crypto bills will be passed by August. It's coming, man. It's coming. This is the thing I've been saying the whole time throughout this sort of market crash and downtrend and stuff was like, you guys realize America is still going to put forward a bill to buy 1 million Bitcoin, man. It's coming. It's coming. Now, whether that bill is successful or not, but Howard Lutnick, an unrelenting Bitcoin bull, is in charge of finding budget-neutral ways to buy Bitcoin. Oh, and they're going to find ways. And they're going to buy Bitcoin, guys. American government's going to buy Bitcoin. Everyone's out here saying it's going to zero. Again, we'll get to mantra in a few minutes, guys. So we're going to talk about that. Hold tight, okay? Smiley Capital saying, I highly advise everyone that didn't make it to lock the F in for the next 12 weeks and do it ASAP before laggards waiting for 7 confirmations realize at the bottom. You still have, you'll have downtime mid to late summer, possibly in September as well for your vacations. Yeah. Interesting theory. We've been talking about the global M2 correlations and all that kind of stuff. And look, I think, the sell-off was more intense than I expected. And obviously the tariff Mageddon here has really shaken up markets quite a bit, but the tide could be shifting in a major way right now. And if that's the case, if the tide does shift adequately back in our favor, which it seems to be doing at the moment, things can always unravel, things can always get worse, blah, 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 risks in the markets, you can lose all your money. Okay, don't forget that. But here's the deal. With the global M2 pumping, we have this interesting window of opportunity to see massive moves in the market if our usual correlation lines up and we get enough positive news, et cetera, et cetera. So pump into June, maybe July, take a few months off for summer as everybody goes to the Amalfi Coast and chills out. And then, boom, back for October, pump it up again. Final top in maybe December, January, something like that. But I can see the next move taking us up to a 150K local peak. for Bitcoin, and altcoins, of course, making some nice moves during that period as well. Don't give up, guys. You're always one click away from glory. Just remember. Colin, keeping us up to date on the global M2. You know, I could do my own M2 charts, but Colin's just on top of it, man. So we're going to give him a shout out here. Global M2 breakout. Look at this. I mean, just no, seriously, look at this effing move right here. Global M2 breaking out dramatically to new highs and absolutely effing pumping in the last few days. Holy shit. Look at that. That's a move, man. That's a move. Now, that move, if we correlate adequately, pumps us up to a new all-time high for Bitcoin. Okay. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. Price of Bitcoin. So close to breaking out, man. So close to breaking out. You can see right here. I mean, look at this. This is our downtrend from 109K all the way down here. Currently, last 3 daily candles rejected right at that trend line. Okay. We are trading above. We got to zoom in here a little bit. We are trading above the 20-day EMA currently. Lose $83,000 with a daily candle close under. We're back under that. Lose about that short-term momentum. Trying, have not succeeded yet to retake the 200-day EMA, purple line on the chart here. 50-day EMA basically right at the same place. Right, and there's three wildly important lines: the 50-day EMA, the 200-day EMA, and that downtrend line, all at the same place right now. If we can put in a daily close at $86,000, that could be a major signal for a serious trend reversal. And there's so many other indicators of built up on top of this. You know, we got the hash ribbons buy signal and all this kind of stuff, right? Big things are happening. Big things are happening here. Let me just put this on as well. We now have confirmation of our 3-day MACD Bitcoin bullish crossover. Okay. Powerful signal. Last times it's happened. I mean, look, it's been a wild downtrend. It's well under the zero line. If you want a place for a powerful reversal MACD, that's the spot. Okay. That's the spot. Interesting. Saylor posting no tariffs on orange dots, aka Saylor's about to announce another big buy. Maybe not billions, but millions, hundreds of millions potentially. Decode here is but hopium for your euphoria. Bitcoin Elliot wave update. Primary count extended 5th wave. Looks like the trend line has been recovered and it's ready to pop. This would indicate a next move up to that 150 zone. Pull back to the amount of just panic on the timeline when we go from 150 back to 100K on the next correction. Mind like literally just heads will be like comedically exploding. Confetti just coming out. People losing their minds, man, before we surge up to the final rally of 250K. Wild shit. Anyway, great chart here from Carl as well. Weekly RSI. Watch for a breakout here as well. You see, last times we've had these sort of RSI breakouts have resulted in pretty significant moves here for Bitcoin. Threatening a breakout right now. Okay. Guys, got to go check out our Discord as well. We are sharing all kinds of alpha in here all the time. Charts and meme coins. We got what are the meme coins we got recently? We got there's one called Bitcoin, which did like a 10x, and Titcoin did like a 30x, man. So they've been nailing some pretty good meme coin calls in the meme coin group. Some great chart setups and stuff like that. Link down below, guys, if you want to start partaking of all the alpha in there. Okay, so Ethereum, we're witnessing the largest accumulation by Bitunix whales since the beginning of this cycle. Fade at your own peril. Gosh darn, I feel like any sort of belief. Oh, Bitcoin. I missed Arizona. I said Bitcoin did a 30x as well. Holy shit. Crazy meme coin wins over there, guys. So it's been absolutely nuts for the meme coin degens in the Discord. Crazy, crazy returns happening over there. So go check it out. This is insane. I feel like I don't want to ride the ETH train again. And you know what? Maybe I'm just like, oh, well, I'm fading it, man. And it's going to be like the biggest returning coin. I just feel like, if I'm going to buy, I'm going to buy Solana if I'm not going to buy one of the big top. And I'm not sure I want to buy Solana or Ethereum because they're just such big coins at this point. I'd rather take a little bit more risk and buy something like Aptos, for example, double down on that bag because I see the returns potential being higher. Okay. Anyway, Ethereum, Bitfinex whales, I guess if I had $500 million I wanted to smash into something, well, then I guess I would do that into Ethereum or Bitcoin, right? Fine. Bitcoin. I don't know, Ethereum, man. So it's Ethereum development activity skyrocketing like no other project right now. Very interesting. Very interesting, actually, to see that. ETH charts still look like absolute big fat sweaty balls. I mean, come on. It's not even at the 20-day EMA, man. Fartcoins over the 20-day EMA. Yo, you are come on. Bitcoin, yeah, 20-day EMA check. Nice. Okay. Ethereum, no. Just no. Hey, I'll give you a little bit of hopium though. Okay, right. We're just trashing on ETH here, but here's a little bit of a there's a thing. Click on it. Click that there. Here we go. Refresh the chart, I guess. Anyway, we are at least continuing an uptrend for the moment. So that's got something going for it here, okay? Sol ETH highest weekly close in history. The market is telling you something. The market is telling you. Yes, Saylor, we're going to talk about Mantra in a few minutes, guys. We're getting to it, okay? Relax. We'll get there soon. Sol ETH highest weekly close in history, okay? Solana. Oh, look who's over the 20-day EMA. Solana, not Ethereum. Guess who's got an ETF coming up soon? Solana. Ethereum's already got one, but that's an old narrative. You got new narratives coming here, man. You got new narratives coming for Solana soon, okay? People are excited about Solana. The mood, the vibe on Solana versus Ethereum right now, very palpable. Ethereum, you got all these old whales capitulating and stuff. It's very bad sentiment. Maybe that sentiment marks the bottom. But here's the thing. I've been hearing this for the last 3, 4, 5 months. Oh, this is the lowest that the ETH BTC ratio is going to get. This is the lowest that the sentiment's going to get. But it just keeps getting worse. Where's Vitalik? Where's Vitalik, man? Just in, Singapore, Hong Kong, smashing, having a good time. That's where he is. Come on, Vitalik. We need like a brass age leader, man. Get out there. Just eviscerate, tear things apart, go in and just, I don't know, burn down the Solana conference, man. Be like, ETH number 1, yeah. And then go. Anyway. Litecoin came back up to retest the 20-day EMA here at $80, currently around 78. I'm paying attention, okay? Break on that 20-day EMA. Very interesting. Very interesting. Might re-enter the position there. On the ETF trade, we could get an ETF approval over the next few weeks. It'd be a short-term trade based solely on the ETF swing trade, but it's been doing okay. Okay, it's coming from $60 here. Finally looks like putting in a little bit of strength, but still has not retaken the 20-day EMA. So let's see if that can happen next, okay? Want to share this with you as well. So this is from Mario posting a chart from maybe Ripple. Guess from Ripple here. Anyway, tokenized real-world assets set to hit $18.9 trillion. We're all in. Real-world assets projected to blow up from 0.6 trillion in 2025 to a staggering 18.9 trillion by 2033. So over the next 8 years, $18 trillion of tokenized assets supposed to be coming on chain. Okay? Think about that. This isn't a trend, it's a tectonic shift. Fascinating. Now, I'm just thinking, I should probably go buy some Mantra DAO, huh? Holy shit. Down 93% yesterday. We don't really have a good explanation what's happened so far. Unfortunately, I haven't been keeping super close, tight tabs on this situation. Maybe there's been more announced since the most recent I've seen. A lot of people saying, oh, it's a rug pull and the team's the one dumping it and stuff like that. Other people saying, well, it's some venture capital firms and they had a big position. Other people saying, well, it's some whales that have accumulated a whole shit ton of it and they dumped the market on purpose, knowing that the liquidity was thin enough for them to be able to dump so they could short it, dump their position, short the market, make a bunch of money, rebuy at the bottom, run it back up. Yeah, there's a lot of accusations running around right now. And look, realistically, Mantra is probably pretty epically overvalued. I think they had like $4 million of actual RWA TVL on chain. It's a bit tricky because the RWA stuff isn't always totally accurately counted, but still, I know they had that big deal with Democ. We did a few sponsored shorts just announcing that news for them when that happened. It's pretty big news. I mean, if you're in the UAE, you know, Democ, it's all over the place, man. It's a big brand name around here in terms of being a real estate developer, and they are bringing $1 billion on chain, right? So I don't know if those deals still go forward, if this is just a temporary blip, or if this is the beginning of the end. Regardless, it's not a good look, and it's going to be hard to recover from. I've seen other coins do this before, though, and recover. You saw, for example, Polygon back in like 2018, 2019, they had some disgusting dumps on Binance, man, just like little shit that looked like this. And then a couple of days later, or maybe a few months later, they would recover, and they went on to make, of course, 100x highs from there. Now, this is not the same situation. This was worth billions of dollars in fully diluted valuation compared to Polygon at the time, which is a very small fish. So I don't know. In terms of real world asset players, there's a lot of ways you can bet on the real world asset space without taking the kind of risks of trying to jump back into Mantra now. Now, maybe this is all just going to blow over, and this is at like a crazy discount, and people, you know, buying the blood here are going to be well rewarded. But I worry sometimes when you see this kind of stuff going on that it's going to be hard to recover from, right? And we'll see what actually gets played out over the next few days, and we'll get more information about what actually happened or did not happen. I don't have all the information right now by any means, but that's a wild chart, man. That's really just one of those like, holy shit, it like literally went to zero. Now I know what you're thinking. That is pretty rough, man. Here's one for you. Mantra, even though it's down 90% today, the yearly performance is still better than Ethereum. You cannot make this shit up. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. Anyway, there's lots of great real world asset players out there. I know Ondo Finance, very popular one right now. They've got some big partnerships with BlackRock and stuff like that. Plume is a new one that I've added to my portfolio. I switched out Red Belly for this one, which I know much slower, much higher market cap by comparison. So I'm taking a bit of risk there that, you know, this doesn't perform as much, or the other one recovers more, or whatever. Anyway, they got a lot of big backers and stuff like that. And as soon as I think we see a little more progress on like their mainnet and stuff, could be an interesting one here. I'm not willing to ride the bag down to zero. I will cut it if I think things are going to turn, or it feels like they're not going to go in the right direction, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, perhaps a better real world asset play. Certainly, well, I don't know what the market cap of Mantra is after all that bullshit, but you know, probably a little more serious by comparison. Of course, you can always just bet on infrastructure, about Chainlink. Now, I don't have my Chainlink position anymore. You guys know I sold that, got some nice profits on it. It was fantastic. I still like Chainlink, though. I keep an eye on it from time to time. And it's one of those coins currently, well, it's recovering the 20-day EMA currently. Okay, and it's currently right at the downtrend line. So essentially, Chainlink is on the verge of a massive breakout right here. So if you get up to like, let's say 1350, even not even that far away, you get a daily close at 1350. That breaks out of the downtrend line, and that breaks out of the 20-day EMA with relative decisiveness. And then, of course, yeah, you got to start working the targets back up. 1450 for the 50-day, 1650 for the 200-day. Okay, but that pushes in the right direction. Okay, so that's a pretty interesting place for it to be. And obviously, the new paradigm of money, Fartcoin, outperforming literally everything in the market right now. I still think at some point it comes back down to retest this trend line. So that's where I would be interested in accumulating some at. We'll see. Otherwise, I just watch it go to $10 and cope the entire time, thinking I had a giant position in that, and I sold it for 25% profits because the market was going to shit and everything dumped except effing Fartcoin. Classic. I mean, I made money. I'm not going to cry too much about it, but geez Louise. Anyway, classic stuff. Guys, let's do some questions. Let's get our red light hats on, guys. Come on, it's time. Let's go. Guys, we're back on the Voss. Where's the label at? Here we go. We're back on the Voss, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Lark, did you check Say? No, let's have a look at the Say chart. I think I even have it up here somewhere. That's an Avax chart. Let's open up the chart for Say here. Let's see what's going on. There it is. All right. Oh, nice. Nice. Loving it. Beautiful. Back above the 20-day EMA. Very nice. Good. Good. We're starting to see more charts that look like this. You guys will notice. Okay, look. Fully just understand there's still a lot of risk in the market. A lot of shit can still go wrong. But as I laid out, we have so many tailwinds lining up right now that at the very least, we might get a significant relief rally coming to the market, if not a rally that takes us to new highs. Market's in disbelief that that can happen right now, which probably means that it can happen. Anyway, besides the point, a lot of coins we're seeing more and more that are currently retaking their 20-day EMAs. Now we're very close and they can easily reverse. We've seen reversals happen before, like here, everybody got super optimistic and then shit broke down again. Okay. Just to be fully clear right here. Okay. Let's get down 13 cents. That's crazy. Anyway, back up to 18 cents now. Moving in the right direction. Yes, it's probably to an extent because World Liberty Fi bought third tranche. Actually, I think it's the third time that they've bought those Say tokens. So moving in the right direction. Let's see if they can keep doing that. Look, Avalanche, similar situation here, right? Where we've got retake of the 20-day EMA. This actually even looking slightly more bullish, buffering up right now against the 50-day EMA, which we got rejected at last time. So the market recovery always climbs the wall of worry. I always say, you know, bull markets climb a wall of worry. Bear markets go walk down the stairs of worry, and market crashes jump off the cliff of worry, right? It's always worry in the markets. Will we get rejected? What's going to happen? But it's interesting. I think we're doing pretty good right now, forming up potential recoveries. Yes, things are starting to run into resistance in some areas. There will be pullbacks. Nothing goes up in a straight line. But in terms of approach to risk markets right now, there could be an interesting window over the next few months. May, June, probably have the potential for some interesting returns if we don't see some kind of macro nuking event happen, which could still happen with bonds, for example. There's a lot of fragility out there. And if time goes by, next week, couple weeks, we don't get any more cracks appearing, then we start moving in the right direction and people stop worrying about that stuff so much. And and we're so back, baby. That's what happens. JP, can I ask a question? That was your shot, man. You got to shoot it. Just ask the questions. Just ask the questions. If I see it, I'll try to answer it. Climb the wall of tariffs. Aim into that. Larkus, the pain's never over. There's always just new definitions of pain. See, you see things pump and you something that you sold previously, and now you have new pain. Or you didn't buy that one you're thinking about buying, now you have new pain. Or one dumps that you held randomly, and now you got new pain. It's always pain. The only question is, what is your pain tolerance in the markets? But yeah, I think generally we have enough tailwinds lining up that there's a decent chance the bottom was in, but we'll see. Again, we're always a few tweets away from absolute chaos in the market. We are a very headline-driven market right now. I still have extreme risk exposure, I would say, in the markets. So just FYI, that's me. Not telling you guys what you should do with your money, as always, but that's kind of how I'm approaching things currently. World War III, the biggest threat to markets. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Such a buzzkill, man. We pull up the ADA charts. Why not? Why? I haven't looked at ADA charts in a few days. And there's only so many charts I can keep an eye on at any given time. But let's see what Charles Coin's doing, man. Ooh, okay, interesting. Interesting. The beard stays on, Charles. The beard stays on. If Charles ever cuts that beard, you guys got to sell. You know, I'm not financial, not beard advice, but you know, that is the magical power holding Cardano together right now. Anyway, jokes aside. Interesting. Not quite at the 20-day. Yeah, I mean, he's not quite over the 20-day EMA. You see, there was an attempt 2 days ago. Again, a lot of altcoins are right at this very, very key level right now, where some are slightly above it, some are slightly below it. ETH, of course, just looking like dog shit as always. Very much below its 20-day EMA. ETH, the lamest coin in this cycle, which is shocking to me as somebody who had a gargantuan percentage of my net worth in ETH for a very long time. I am just shocked by how bad it's performed this cycle. A lot of other coins getting a lot more attention right now. Besides, when we're talking about Cardano, okay. Look, Cardano takes out the 20-day EMA. Probably gets pretty interesting there, in my opinion. So the good news is the 200-day EMA is very, very close from here. A lot of these EMAs are really closing in very tightly together. So if you get back over 72 cents, I think it provides a really good setup for a run here on Cardano. So we'll see how that goes, of course. But let's try and draw a few lines. Yeah, it's so tricky because that big Trump pump that happened there. I don't think there's any particularly fantastic lines we could draw. They're all too sharp. Yeah, I don't love that one either. You could say maybe that's one, but I don't know. Don't love those. I think the most relevant thing right now to look for is the EMAs, which 20-day EMA, if you're looking for a trade, 65-cent confirmed daily close, probably a decent spot for a long here on Cardano. Okay, let's catch up in the chat a little bit. Did it take long to get your new citizenship? Well, I'm not a citizen of the UAE. They don't give out citizenships. They give out visas and golden visas and stuff like that. In terms of the Grenada passport, it took about a year. Okay. So much paperwork. So much. It's just a lot of time just getting all the paperwork together. But yeah, it took about a year, I'd say, in total to get it from start of the application, have first conversations with the guys over at Henley Global. If you're looking for a second citizenship, the dudes at Henley Global, they can help you get basically all the good ones in the world. So go check it out. ETH, call an ambulance. There's been an accident. Will you guys stay in Dubai indefinitely? I think, well, for a while. I don't see going anywhere else right now. We're pretty chill here at the moment. Things are okay. Like Dubai for a whole variety of reasons. Going in summer, it's getting hot. Let's not bullshit about that. It's hot. It's like 36 today or something like that. So it's toasty outside. But I love Dubai. Dubai is fantastic. Big fan. I think it's a very certain kind of personality who will like Dubai and vibe on Dubai, and I understand the people who don't. And like, I know I have a lot of friends back in New Zealand. Like, it would not be a good spot for them. It doesn't fit their lifestyle for a variety of reasons. But yeah, indefinitely, let's say, for the foreseeable future. I sold all my ETH. What's the best thing to go into, do you think? Don't know. It's a hard question to answer. I have no idea what your portfolio looks like, what you're interested in, all that kind of stuff. But I think that there's, just as a sort of broad comment, not to tell you what to buy, certainly not financial advice, but as a broad comment, I think that there's a lot of great competitor networks that are at pretty interesting valuations by comparison that probably have a lot more upside. Okay. So that's going to be like Sui, Aptos, for example. Heck, even Solana is probably going to outperform, maybe even 2-to-1 at this point. That's looking like a pretty rough picture. Have you spent July? No, I have not, and I'm not planning on it. We're going to probably get out of town for July and August, but we'll see how we go. How many days do you have the global M2 chart offset by when overlaying with BTC chart? I think, well, we shared Colin's chart, and he's offsetting by about 108, 110 days, something like that. Seems to be one of the best correlations. There's different. Look, you have to understand this. There's no perfect predictable correlation, okay? Sometimes it's 2 months, sometimes it's 3 months, but the general approach, okay? Rising liquidity, whether it takes longer or shorter to catch up, catches up, okay? Rising liquidity will lift all boats. Exactly when it lifts all boats is a debatable point, and you can look at a bunch of different models about what's more likely or less likely to have that correlation, but the general correlation is it goes up. Who's the woman, or what's the picture? Okay, so this one. This is We Are Satoshi. It's got names of, like, you know, Hal Finney and people like that on here. And I think this is a self-portrait of the artist, Josie Bellini, Josie.io. I don't think she has any of these prints anymore, but she's one of the OG crypto artists, OG NFT artists. She was doing all that stuff way before it was cool. This is actually the Ethereum white paper here, all these pieces here. And I'm not positive about this. People have told me it's all kinds. I always thought I kind of looked like Audrey Hepburn, but apparently people I don't know, have a variety of their own interpretations of who that might be. But I'm not sure if it's an artist self-portrait or not, that one. But anyway, there you go. Check BNB. Oh, you know what? Gosh, that is a chart. You know, dude, that is just a chart I do not look at like almost ever, to be honest. Let's have a look at it. Let's see what's going on. Looks like a lot of, I'll just throw it up here on the chart on the screen real quick. Looks like a lot of altcoin charts right now. Okay. Trying to retake that 20-day EMA, but that's encouraging. A lot of charts are either about to get rejected again at the 20-day EMA and go down lower once again, or we're going to actually start seeing some recovery based on all the sort of broad tailwinds that we see with the markets cooking up right now. Fartcoin is done. Hot air rises. No, I think Fartcoin's had an incredible run. I would not buy it here personally. I'm looking for a pullback. If I don't get that pullback, I'll move on to the next opportunity. That's my general assumption here. Litecoin, yes. I think there's a great ETF play there, okay? Check Vertcoin, Rupert. Oh my gosh. You know what? Let's go on a trip down memory lane. Jeez Louise. Some of this stuff you get, I mean, who the heck is buying Vertcoin these days, man? Like legitimately. That's crazy. That's crazy talk. Let me see what's good exchange here. That's Vert, Gate. Sure, that works. When did they didn't even list that long? Back into it. Can this be the right one? Is this the actual like Vertcoin? I need a better chart than that. Oh, where's somewhere Bitmart? This cannot be the same Vertcoin, can it? No. See, it's I don't even know if you can find a decent chart for it. BitGet, no, this cannot be the same Vertcoin. Anyway, unless they've rebranded or something, I have no idea. Anyway, I can't even find the charts, man. Nobody even cares about Vertcoin anymore. It was a big thing back in 2017, though. Did you buy CAT on Avax? I have not. Trying not to let the coin inflation in my portfolio get too crazy. Check Chainlink chart. We just did a few minutes ago. Go back and check it out if you missed that. We already talked about the Solana chart. Go back and check that out. Still expecting to move higher in Bitcoin? Yes. Welcome to 3M. JP. Oh my gosh, I missed your question again, dude. Post it again. Post it again, JP. Post it again, man. Too many questions coming through. Altcoin season. There's look, it's gonna be some nice altcoin performance, but in terms of the fabled altcoin season, just think about it in terms of following those trends, follow the EMAs, watch out for when things start to turn, take some money off the table as things go up, okay? We don't need sort of the fabled altcoin season where everything just magically pumps by hundreds of % within a few weeks, although it's probably going to happen anyway, but just take money off the table, guys. When you have money, it's worth taking off the table. Can you check render? Let's check render. Do one or two more here for you guys. See if we can hit JP's question or not. Render on Binance. Oh, that's not looking too bad, actually. Not looking too bad. I'm going to put it on the screen here for you guys. Okay. Let's throw a line on that. Beauty. Oh, it's actually a really nice, pretty clean chart, actually. You see 1, 2, 3, 4 contact points on the downtrend. That has broken out. We also took out the 20-day EMA right here. It's actually a pretty decent looking chart, to be fair. I quite like what I'm seeing here. MACD bullish uptrend, good. You can see right here, taking out those key EMAs, currently sitting above the 50-day EMA and moving towards a crossover of the 20 over the 50, showing good good momentum in the upcoming short term, right? Have you bought Walrus yet? No, I have not. Price never got to a point where I really wanted to get a big bag of it. So anyway, Saylor B. Render looking nice. I think that's a pretty decent looking chart. Obviously, we're still ages under the 200-day EMA, but perhaps there's an opportunity there. Short-term indicators are seeing us go back in the right direction. You don't sound convinced that there'll be actually be an altcoin season. I mean, look, there's going to be an altcoin season. It just, I think people keep waiting for history to repeat as there was before. You can make plenty of effing money in altcoins without having to wait for this perfect blow off top moment. And the way that cycles sort of move between different niches, right? I mean, for example, you could have gone in all in on AI coins back in November, early December, made 10 extra money, and then moved on to something else, right? You didn't have to wait for the perfect altcoin season to come along. Yes, I think there's going to be a massive influx of money into altcoins late 2025, maybe sometime in 2026. That's going to be probably near our blow off top when Bitcoin reaches 250K. If we're still heading in that direction, if we get enough tailwinds and bad shit doesn't happen in the economy, then great. That's where we're going to head, in my opinion. Oh, here we go. JP's question. Let's finish on this. What is your opinion on Cronos? Not in the daily aspect, but the fact that it's the native coin for crypto.com. Crypto.com is taking up more and more of the market as a CEX. You know, personally, I like crypto.com. I use it all the time. I use my crypto.com card. It's literally here in my wallet. I use it on the daily. I really like crypto.com cards. I like the crypto.com app. I don't really use it for trading, but I like the crypto.com app. It's very clean. It's nice. It's done all kinds of stuff there over time. That being said, the Cronos, the CRO token never really got me very excited beyond just, you know, doing lockups for card and stuff like that. And I don't know. I think for me, in general, exchange tokens just don't particularly float my boat, right? Some of the on-chain ones are very interesting because they actually pay you money for holding the token. CRO doesn't. I mean, I think it's staking rewards, but it's not like real yield devised from or like paid out in like a USDC or something like that. Like Orderly, for example, it's a liquidity provision protocol for decentralized exchanges, pays out in USDC, right? So yeah, from that perspective, I'm not super into exchange tokens, but hey, is there potential for it to do well? Sure, absolutely. Holding Fartcoin, feeling bullish. The hot air rises, my friend. You're gonna replace the. I know I need to get some Solana art, I guess. No, you know what? I love Ethereum, man. I have lots of love for Ethereum. I'm just being honest with the charts kind of sucking right now and the mind share slipping a little bit and stuff like that. But I love ETH, man. I made so much money on ETH over time, and it's just it's a good coin. It's a good, man. I got good vibes for ETH, man. I know I've been critical of it. Okay, I gotta try to be honest with things here. I'm critical of a lot of things. I was critical of it when it was my bag, and I was still holding it. Okay. Yes, I still hold Avalanche. You know what? Screw it. Let's check the Avax chart, man. Why not? Seriously, I need to start doing time control on my streams. I hope you guys have a good time hanging out. Beautiful. Look at that. Nice. Good. 20-day EMA taken out. 50-day EMA right here. Looking good. Looking solid. Love to see it. Fantastic. Got big Avax bags, and I hope that they do incredibly well. They're going in the right direction. What else are you waiting for apart from tariffs? Strategic Reserve didn't move the market. Mythos, the Strategic Reserve didn't move the market because there was a lot of expectation around that, but also they didn't announce any new buying. However, they did, but the market it's not clear enough, so the market's not hanging on to that as a narrative. That being said, I think that Howard Lutnick, who literally owns like $1 billion of MicroStrategy and like $200 million of Bitcoin, he's going to juice Bitcoin, man. He's going to find budget neutral ways, whether that be through the selling of gold cards, the repricing of gold, selling off the Strategic Cheese Reserve, or whatever the hell else it might be. They're going to find ways to buy Bitcoin for the government, and it's going to happen. Lark, you just mentioned the Bitcoin top 250K. Is that possible? I mean, Anything's possible. Let's put it that way. A lot of charts still point to that being a realistic. Now, look, when I say okay, maybe it's 220, maybe it's 215, maybe it's 237, 263. It's just a ballpark figure, right? But I still think 250K BTC is possible later on in the cycle, as long as we don't go into some big recession or something in the USA, at which point then it's going to be delayed for quite a while. Okay, but currently we're not necessarily heading in that direction, and I'm not saying that's going to happen in the next 2 months. It might take us a while to get there, but I could see a 150K peak in like June, for example. It wouldn't surprise me. I'm not saying it's a guarantee or anything like that, but I would not be surprised to see that happen if we get enough positive news in terms of macro tailwinds pushing us in the right direction. So we'll see how that goes. And look, everything seems far-fetched until it happens. Amount of people who said to me, oh, Bitcoin's never going to go to 100K, simply never going to happen, like literally. And then it did. And then it did. What about Uniswap token? You know, still not a fan. Well, there's no point in holding it. It's just a governance token. And look, yeah, I know some governance tokens can pump, and I own some governance tokens from time to time. I'm not saying they're all shit, but man, if Uniswap ever turns on the fee sharing, that's a token, man. But they haven't done that yet. Anyway, holy shit, we're up to 46 minutes. We got to go. I'll see you guys back tomorrow. Thanks for joining. I love you guys. Peace.